Hey guys, how are you doing today? Today I'm gonna do another live video. As you know, I like live videos. My name is Gustavo Romero. I'm an entrepreneur coach. I've been doing entrepreneurship. I've been doing businesses and helping people to start their business for a very long time. So I'm really passionate about coaching and consulting and helping people to always do better in what they can do, right? And yesterday we were talking about. Sometimes I talk about personal things. Sometimes I talk about business things. This is all mixed up. It's always to overview different things. Today, I was just finishing a class with some of my students. We were looking into a program. Well, I'm a coach for Proctor Gallagher Institute, so we have the Thinking to Resolve program, and we normally do this program every 12 weeks. Um, we do it every 12 weeks all the time, and each lesson really help you in something in particular, but repetition is what make it count because it's the only way to actually make it work. I always see personal development as what the word said. Personal development is knowing about yourself. As you know yourself, you know the people. The other thing I realized is that personal development is like a language, right? You try to change certain habits on you, but if you realize if you speak Spanish and you wanted to learn English, or you learn English and want to speak another language like Spanish, French, Creole, or other languages, you realize that through repetition, at some point, it seems to be that everything is conscious, and at some point, you understand everything. And it's normally when we call it that is you consciously force yourself to learn something, but then your subconscious takes it, accept it, and then suddenly you can understand and speak with it very easily. So it's when your subconscious takes what you have been repeatedly telling it to do, accept it, and make it truth, or make it believe that is exactly what you want to do. And this is what we do in coaching. It's all about believing. It's all about what you want, and you have what you believe. So today we were talking about the lesson one, which is about goals, setting goals, and how these the three types of goals. So we talk about this A type goals, B type goal, and C type goals. And the goals that you want to have is goals that are related to something you never done before, something that excites you, right? And so one of the persons said, "How can I do that?" Right? And so one of the point that we were talking, where you want to write down, so you need to think that everything that you see around you, your shirt, this computer, the cell phone, everything that we have is because someone thought about it or created an imagination, visualize, right? So you want to do is you always want to be imagining things. You want to use your imagination. You can call it imagination, fantasy, or visualization. When you visualize something, two things happen. First, you feel confident that you actually can make it. The other thing is you're building motivation. You see, uh, everything that you do along the day works on first starting as a visualization. You can be sleeping and you visualize yourself driving your car, go to work, right? And so you plan everything in your mind. As you plan in your mind, then you ask two questions. That's the question we ask every day. You can try it out today. You're going to ask yourself these two questions, whether you ask it out loud or you don't, but you always respond. Am I able? Able has to be with confidence. And science and theology always say that man is able to do anything. The problem, we don't believe it, so we don't think that we can do it. So are you able? Yes, I'm able to do it. I am willing. Willing has to do with motivation, or basically what is the benefit of doing what I'm doing and what is the cost associated. You see, there's always a benefit and a cost associated in everything. For example, you could be at work and you can say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go out and grab some coffee, right, to the Starbucks. It's only 5 miles away. So I'm going to grab my car, go to a Starbucks, get a nice latte, came back. But if you really think how much do you really pay for the latte, you say, yeah, sure, I already paid about $3 for a tall latte. In reality, you probably pay about $25 because if you count the money of your own time, what is worth your time, what is worth the gasoline, what is worth everything that you did to get the coffee, probably you pay about $20 to $25 for the coffee. But it doesn't really matter because you visualize it and they make the what make you feel that goal of getting the coffee is worth more than the cost of taking action to get that coffee. You see, visualization helps you to build that desire, that motive that you have. So I'm going to read a really quick thing and I'll try to explain how you can manipulate certain passions that you might have in your life. So it could be um, fear. You can use fear also to do the things that you fear. So you can use fear to use against fear. You can use something that you're passionate about something that you don't feel a lot of motivation. You don't know how to build the motivation to do what you need to do to get the results you want. So in the point number 4 in the exercises, it said something very interesting. It is very important that you give all your mental energy to build of the image of the good that you desire. Okay, so desire has to go with the passion. The good is what is good for you, and the image is the visualization. Begin to think about these wants, the thing that you want, as an image in your mind. So you want a porch, you're going to imagine that porch, you really need to see that porch in your mind, or a car or anything you want to see it, right? And as you see it, you will feel more comfortable. You can see it several times. As long as you see it, the more you feel comfortable. Write about this one existing in your life in the present tense. So what you want to do is you imagine, and then you're going to write it down in a piece of paper as the already yours, right? This is a tricky thing. You get what you believe, right? So you're blessed. You're blessed. Blessed are those who believe in the unseen. So blessed are those people who can believe what they cannot see. And it's the hardest part is to work towards something you cannot see, because you don't see it, you think you don't have it. That's not true. Same time, it will be done to you according to what you believe. And everything you have right now is yours because you believe in it. But the tricky thing is you're going to be blessed if you can believe that it's already yours, something that is not in your hands right now. You have to believe it in your mind. You see, all entrepreneurs, the harder part of entrepreneur is work towards a reward that's going to come in the future. But I'm working today for the future. Now, an employee does the same thing. You work for 30 days and you're going to get a paycheck by the end of the month or by the end of the week, right? But you have to work first. So it's the same thing. You know that check is yours. You know that money is yours. You're just going to work for it. You're going to wait and work to get that check, right? And so you know it's yours and you're working for it. So in entrepreneurship, when you start any business, you have to see it the same way. You got to visualize, see it with your mind that is already yours. You got to believe it's yours. And if you believe it's yours, it's going to be yours. You're going to just work towards it and do it. So I was explaining that there's different ways to do this. So I got little kids, and so time I watch some cartoons with them. And my son is 10. We've been watching a couple of times Kung Fu Panda. And if you ever had the chance, if you have kids, or if you don't, you can even watch it if you wanted to. It's very interesting, especially the Kung Fu Panda, the number one. It's very interesting because you see this big panda that has no training, nothing, and they make it the white dragon or the dragon warrior, right? And this has no skills at all. It's fat, very fat. It can barely move and all that. And all the animals that are there, they have a lot of skills and abilities. They've been training for 20, 30 years. And so they're wonderful people. And then they finally choose this panda as a warrior, right? And this panda is the only one who's going to be able to save the city from the bad that whoever can come. And as you move along with the movie, the more interesting thing, I always like movies that give you kind of message. People say, no, it's just a movie. It's not. It's really, they've been a lot of thought behind those ones. So this one, at the end of the day, come out that the guy is a failure, right? And everybody hates him. And then so finally, his master dies, and you got to believe and trust in the warrior, right? And how do I believe? So these guys feeling really bad, really want to kick him out, and can't do anything, can kick anybody, can do anything. And so he realized that he basically can achieve everything he wants as long as he believes what drive this panda is food, right? And so as long as the panda realized that he can achieve great success in his life when he has a passion and the desire for food. So he's willing to run and jog and jump and do all this crazy thing that most people think is impossible for a panda. He will do it for food, but he won't do it for something else. So this is what shows you that what motivates the panda is the food. You need to understand what does motivate you. And motivation can come in two ways. Could be in something good or something bad. And I explain that in a little bit. So as you move along, the panda finally faced with this big tiger who really wanted to kill everybody, want to take over this scroll, right? There's a scroll, and he wants to the power of the scroll. And so the panda is protecting the scroll, and there's a whole battle there. And then suddenly there's one scene when the scroll, out of the punching and all that, the scroll falls on the top of a building. And so the panda is there, and the tiger is waiting, and he's on top of the building. They need to reach the scroll. And what the panda does is something very interesting that we should learn from. He closes his eyes and imagine the scroll to be a cookie, right? So he knows himself. Personally, the problem is knowing yourself. So he imagined the cookie. And so he opened the eyes, and what he sees is a cookie. He doesn't see the scroll. He sees a cookie. With his eye, he trained his eye to see a cookie because that's what he imagined, the cookie. And he's willing to do whatever it takes for food. So suddenly he's jumping and moving here, forward, blah, 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 climbing in that building to grab the cookie. Well, it's actually a scroll, but it's a cookie. And this is the magic when it comes. The tiger said, the scroll is giving him power. Right? The scroll is giving power, but the scroll is not giving any power. It's himself giving himself the power by imagining what is passion for them, with visualizing what he wants the cookie. So on, goes around, and at the end of the day, these two are battling, and finally the tiger gets the scroll and wants to read the scroll because he wants to know what the scroll is all about and wants to what this power is coming from, and open the scroll, and what it found? It found a mirror. And the power of the scroll is a mirror. And the guy's looking and saying, I don't understand. I'm looking for words. I'm looking for something that's going to make me better. And then the panda said to him, well, I didn't get it in the beginning, but it's you. The power is within you. You see, this is the beauty of this. Is not what you are going to feed in yourself in words and technique and everything. Is really the power in you. You are the power. In coaching, we always talk about this. You have a genie right next to you. And the genie said, you can have anything you want. You join the lamp. He said, you can have everything you want. You just need two things. First, you need to ask me what you want. And then you need to believe me that I can give you that. So if you have a genie and you ask what you want and you believe what you want, then you're going to get it. And if you ask many entrepreneurs, they saw the opportunity and they saw the way to do it before they got started. But it was the opportunity, was the desire of having that they want would make them move towards getting it. So sometimes I give this example and I try to understand that this is the way you need to know yourself, right? This is all about knowing yourself. What motivates you? What motivates me is different than motivates you and everybody. So that's why we call it is personal development. Personal, because it's personal. It's not group development, it's personal development. So how do you know about yourself is very interesting. So let's say what is important in your life. So I wanted to really find someone to really connect with emotions. And I asked them, so they came to me and said, well, I don't have the money, right? It's a typical, I don't have the money or anything like that. And I said, okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you have $100,000 in your bank account right now? The person said, no, I don't have $100,000 in my bank account. Okay, perfect. All right, so do you have kids? You have kids. Okay, so if someone kidnapped your kid, and tell you by the end of the week you have to get $100,000. Will you let your kid die? And this took a little bit farther, and the person said, well, of course not. I will do whatever it takes. So what it means, whatever it takes. Will you get the 100,000 by the end of the week? And he said, yes, I will. I will get the money. What will you do? I'll do whatever it takes. Even if I have to do something crazy, I will do it. I will call my friends. I will call everybody to get what I want, right? To recover your son. So what is the difference between that and the panda? There's no difference. The panda was willing to do whatever it takes to get a cookie. You might do whatever it takes to get back your son. So at the end of the day, you're using energy that is built up inside of you, and you're channeling that energy towards your goal, to achieve that goal. As we explained before, everything starts with a thought, and it's the thought who triggers the feeling. But if you realize the energy that thing, good or bad, is building in your chest, right? And building in your chest is that energy that make you do the extraordinary to achieve your results. So what is it in your life that you value so much that you're willing to give your life for it? Now, Bob Proctor said something very interesting. One of the lessons said, basically, in the decision article, it said something very interesting. It said, at the end of the day, you're giving your life for what you have today. So let's say you're not happy for what you have today, but you're giving your life for something you're not happy. What are you willing to do if you're going to get something that's going to make you happy? You see, that comes confidence. We don't believe that we can do it. And in confidence comes simply by knowledge. Buy a book, read about yourself, know about yourself, know about your feeling, but really try to find out what is really passionate you about, right? So someone might say, well, I'm not passionate about money. Well, what are you passionate about? I'll love to be with my kids at home. It's okay, you can work from home. Well, I don't know what I do, I can do it. Well, what are you willing to do to work from home and be with your kids, right? And so you can imagine it, you can visualize it, and visualize yourself. I'm visualizing myself within a computer, helping people, doing coaching or doing bookkeeping or taxes or consulting and all that. I see myself doing this, and I think so. I have certain skills and abilities that will help me and help other people for what I do. And then you can start a part-time business, right? You can say, okay, fine. I know I work about 8 hours or 10 hours a day. I watch movies for about 2 hours. I could not watch those movies and focus that time to build a business that eventually will take me to the lifestyle that I want. You see, this is the beauty of this. As you build that passion within you, as you build that passion inside of you, you are able to control it. You don't have to be controlled by the passion, but you can control the passion. You can create the passion inside of you to drive you to take the step to do the thing you want to do in your life. So let me see where I see that text that Proctor talks about the life. I can't find it right now. So eventually we'll find it and we'll share with you guys. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk with you, because we talked that today in class, and I really like to talk. In general, I like talking. I'm very good at talking, but I also like to sharing what I do. And I think so that, look, if you learn something today and you think someone else out there need an advice, share it. I mean, never hold it for you. Whatever you can do to make other people better, just share it and do it. I encourage my client encourage to make videos about what they learned during the day, video what they learned so far. As I said, personal development is a language. In language, normally when you go to school or college, you do three things. You will read, you will listen, and you will write it down. Right? You write it down, you listen it, and you're hearing it. And this is what normally you do at school and college and as you move along in life, right? But in languages, you do 4 ways of learning. 4 ways of learning. Number 1 is reading. Number 2 is hearing. Number 3 is writing. But number 4, which is the one that's more difficult, is speaking, right? So the hardest part in language is speaking, because what you speak is your emotions. Personal development, you learn it best when you share it to other people, when you teach to other people, when you help other people. Why? Because the first person who hear what you're saying is you. You're reaffirming to yourself. So if you see teachers, no, because they teach something, they're telling to other people, they know more because they're teaching it. I think so. Well, I used to come out. I realized this in microeconomics. I was doing microeconomics in Chile, and I was doing microeconomics. Someone came to me and said, "Hey, can you explain me this? And you're taking a lot of notes. Can you explain it to me?" And I didn't really know about it, but I explained it, and I was just reading and explaining, and the person just was listening. But as I was reading and explaining, I get to understand it better and drive me is something good, a good feeling that helping someone to understand something was good. And I like it. Now I'm doing coaching. I've been teaching university entrepreneurship and all that. So this is something I wanted to share with you guys. So I will come out and do different videos. I like doing videos. I like doing lives. And I'm happy to be here. And if you have any question or anything you might need, let me know. I'll be happy to help you. Well, thank you so much, guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.